Hi, my name is Asamat from asamatLessons.com, and today I have a lesson for you about fingerstyle strumming. Now, that was a song from my latest record. It's called Poskad Dari Malaysia, and it is a song called Serendipity In Serendah. Now, how the song came about is that I'm a huge fan of people like Gillian Welch, Rawlings, people like Elliott Smith. I love a lot of folk and Americana singer-songwriters, essentially, and they always have this kind of strum, some kind of version of this bass strum thing. And I've always been fascinated with that sound. It sounds different than if you just strum the guitar like. Or even if you did. Is also another kind of style, but I particularly like this. So the bass is louder a little bit, and the higher strums are kind of softer a little bit. And later on, when I listened to the Carter family, for instance, and I realized that there's a whole thread, a whole tradition coming from this kind of style of playing. That can be traced from many different musicians, and I'm going to share with you how I do it, which is my fingers, fingerstyle. I'm playing it fingerstyle, and how I try to incorporate it with my regular fingerstyle playing. Now, the reason I think this is interesting is I will play you how I would play Serendipity In Serendah if I didn't do the strumming, and then I'll play the version with the strums, and you can listen to how it sounds different. So this is just like normal fingerstyle playing. Sorry. So kind of like alternating bass has that kind of vibe. Even if I put the bass and it's muted a bit, It sounds okay, but it's missing a little something, and that's what I later on, when I started adding the strum stuff, and which is it came together, and it sounds like this now with the strumming. Again, sorry. So to me, that just sounds way more exciting. It actually doesn't sound like it's very complicated, but there are things happening on the right hand that are a little bit of invisible technique. Now I'm going to share with you the strum patterns. Pattern number 1 is this. Now, in this pattern, 2 things are happening. Number 1, I'm playing the bass note, and then I'm strumming with the index finger. Now, notice this. I curl up the finger, and then let it go like that. Sometimes I move it, so sometimes I do this. But there's not enough of, it feels like there's not enough bounce to it. So I kind of move my hand a bit. There are a few subtle variations to this. One is the index goes off. The other one is actually keep it curled. And just use this movement to get the the strum. In a way, this is similar to claw hammer guitar technique. That is pattern number 1. So bass, down, up. There's 2 kinds of ways I do this. One is I do bass, index, down, and up. Bass, index down, index up. Second version is bass, index, and then thumb up. Okay, so you have version 2A and version 2B. Okay. The third pattern is this one where it goes bass, up, down, up. So that's what's happening in that part. Bass down up, or bass down down with the index, up with the thumb, and then bass up down up. So sometimes I do bass up with the thumb, down with the index, up with the thumb, or sometimes I do bass up, index, down, index, up, index. This is how it sounds with the index. How it sounds with the thumb going up. So even though the thumb seems like it's supposed to be like this big finger, you know, big appendage, it doesn't have to necessarily have an aggressive sound. And by the way, I'm just holding on to the G major chord right now. And that's the basic strum stuff. Now, the trick is to actually practice those things separately. So if you were going to practice this, I would say, you know, spend some time, put on the metronome, and just go. And you don't want it to sound like this. Bad. Good would be, at least for this style, you know, this kind of, you want to get the bass louder a little bit. Then, second exercise would be just the index, still the index finger doing. Or you could play with the thumb and the index bass. I like actually using the thumb on the way up. And then, exercise number 3 would be bass up, down, up, bass up, down, up. That's what happens with these right-hand patterns. So I call this like fingerstyle strumming. You know, it's like bass strum patterns, folk patterns, and it's a big part of my style. And I started doing this, you know, probably around 2006, 2007. I was in Berkeley and I was studying there, and I was just getting more and more into the folk stuff, even though I was studying jazz composition. In terms of whenever there was a holiday, I kept practicing this stuff in between, you know, practicing like, you know, just like, you know, jazz stuff. I kind of really liked the strumming stuff, and I thought it was interesting and contrasting. It took me much longer to actually get other things like the melody inside as well. So now I will teach you the song. Watch this very closely. So the intro goes. So it goes bass down, bass down, bass down, bass up, down, up, bass down, bass down, bass. And this intro is just a strumming introduction where you can, you know, vary it if you want. first melody goes. It's just a D, open D, hammer on, and then I'm using the thumb here, hammer on, index, mid. So it actually becomes like a G6. Then bass on the G. So again, so you can see both sides. So you guys just strum, bass, strum, bass, strum. Then open B. Here I do A, strum, B, strum, C, strum. Now I'm on C major 7 here. 3, 2, 0, 0. Then the melody. Sorry. Yeah. E, open D, pull up. G, B, index middle. A, F sharp bass. Then G, D and B, and G again. Then I hold the G major chord. Then I strum A bass, strum bass, strum bass. So again. Sorry. One time. And that's basically it. Another little trivia, another little thing I do is when I do the bass thumb and I'm trying to use the flesh only, and what that does is it gives a bit more kind of a bass sound, rather than if I use my thumbnail. It sounds more like a guitar, you know, with a pick. And that's it. So hope you found this lesson interesting. And if you haven't kind of mixed up strumming with fingerstyle playing or classical playing, hopefully this will open up new ideas. Maybe you can write a song using these techniques, or maybe you want to learn the rest of the song. This is kind of the foundation for Serendipity In Serendah, and I hope this is useful to you. Again, if you like the video, you can do one of 3 things. Number 1, you can like the video. Please click like and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. So go to asamadlessons.com and subscribe to the mailing list, where you'll get updates about lessons, like lessons every week. I'm trying to do a new lesson on Wednesday. Third one is, if you really like the song, you can check out the rest of the song on my website. It's called Poskad Dari Malaysia. Post the link will be underneath the video, and buy the song. Check it out. You learn the rest of it by ear, or you can just listen to it on Bandcamp. No biggie if you just want to stream it online. But if you really dig it, please buy it and, you know, tell your friends all about it. It's from my new album, Poskad Dari Malaysia. Thanks so much for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.